Yo,
Yo, yo,
what it do, bro?
how you feeling today?
Good. How you feeling, Sin-seer?
I'm good, man. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Appreciate you having me, bro. Appreciate you having me, bro.
No doubt. It's been a long time. 1994 was your debut album. A lot has happened in between now and then. We definitely want to catch up with you and see what you got going on and, see what Bambino has been into all these years. But
It's been a few moons.
yeah, no doubt. A lot of people say they can't remember ever seeing a Another Level interview, so I'm glad to be able to bring this one to them and just hear some good stories, from then until now. Glad to see you're still with us, and give you your flowers while you're still here.
Man,
So,
I appreciate it, bro.
no doubt. So what I want to do is go back in time and then work our way up to what Bambino currently has going on. For everybody joining, this is episode 135 of History Lessons. I'm with Bambino from Another Level. Like I said, thank you for joining us. For
Yeah.
those who may not know or who are new or just forgot, can you take us back to where Bambino was born and raised?
Man, I was born and raised in the streets of LA. In the View Park area, which is in between Ladera and the Crenshaw district. So, Slauson and Buckler to be exact. Take it further, Buckler and 62nd. We called it the Himalaya Hills because it's one of the few hills besides Hollywood Hills in LA. And it's in the hood. It's starting to be gentrified now. You would never know it now. But growing up, it was a lot of gang activity and a lot of street stuff. One side to me was Crenshaw, and one side was Ladera Heights, which was predominantly affluent African Americans. And so you could kind of decide what you wanted to do. If you want to get into some hood stuff, then you could go to Crenshaw. If you wanted to see some upper class brothers, you could go to Ladera Heights. So it gave me good balance. I think that's why Cube rocked with us, is because we were from the hood and we were more on some player shit. You know what I'm saying? We were more on some, money, clothes, and females and shit high school kids is into. You know what I mean? We was just, sneaking in clubs at that point. I was the youngest. That's where Bambino comes from. My buddy Sticks, I don't know if you know, Sticks passed away from Another Level. Rest in peace to Sticks. He was a producer. He was one of the originators. Him and Sticks and Stones were the producers of Another Level originally. And Sticks came to me, and he knew I used to freestyle and shit. And he was just like, man, I want to put together a group. And, what do you think? I'm getting this equipment and let's rock. And I was like, all right, bet. I grabbed my man Sid, because Sid was already big into hip hop. He was already rapping in various groups we had together and shit. And he was like, under one condition, you bring Stinjo in. Stinjo, we was all from the same crew in LA called Gentlemen. And we wasn't banging, we was on some player shit, but Cash respected us, you know what I mean? And so I said, okay, we bring in Damone, and we would help him write in the beginning, but man, he took it and became one of the illest MCs of Another Level over time. It's a trip how he evolved. But since Another Level, or did you want to go there yet? Or you want to stay with Another Level? Where you want to go?
We're gonna stay. We're gonna work our way up. We got a lot to talk about before we. Yeah. Tell me, early on, were you always a solo artist, or were you always in a group?
I was a groupie, man. Honestly, I started off in a group called Risky Business in junior high. It was my man Cash and my cousin Warner, Dub One. And my name was the Riddler back then. You know how names were back in the day, bro.
Right.
So I messed around with that. My uncle is Verdine White in Earth, Wind, and Fire, and he cooked up some helped us get some. About 4 songs and never really went anywhere with it. So I had been in the studio. I wasn't a stranger to music. My dad's dad is Johnny Otis. My mom's mom was a singer. My mom sang on Stevie Wonder's Love, Light, and Flight. So my family's all into music, right? So I'm messing around with rap, with Risky Business, and that didn't really go anywhere. So then when Sticks approached me, we hadn't come up with the name Another Level yet. We were still messing with a few other names, and so we go to my grandfather. No, we work in Sticks's mom's studio, Sticks's mom's house. He built a little studio in the back, and we were messing around there. And we did about 3 demo songs. And then my grandfather was big into music. We're like, come to my real studio and redo those demo songs. And mom's was like, heard a little bit of cussing on it, a few shits here and there, a few hoes. And I'm 16 years old. She's like, hell no, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. I mean, she don't cuss, but she wasn't rocking with it, basically. She didn't like the fact that she didn't like the content for me being so young. But I'm like, man, we're not talking about killing nobody. We just talking about having fun. Little do you know the things we talk about when you're not around. But that demo, we cooked up 4 tracks, and we cooked up 6 tracks, and we took like 3 or 4 of them to my uncle's studio. And I remember after we got the demo tight, I slid it to my pops, and my pops was friends with Tone Loc. And, wild thing, so they chilling. I had a young pops. So pops, my dad was like a pops to all the homies in the hood that didn't have fathers. He's 20 years older than me. So he was a young cat, bumping KRS-One by any means necessary, all the time. And so he was more in the PE, Rakim, Public Enemy, that type of stuff. KRS-One was his favorite. And so Cass looked up to my pops, and so they trusted him with the demo. So he goes over to Tone Loc's house, and Tone is chilling. They probably smoking some bud, and Cali, man. You know what I mean? So everybody, so long and skinny. Tone says, I'm not really into, a label thing right now, but my man Laylaw sitting right here is, and Laylaw from Above the Law was there at Tone's house with my pops and Tone. And so, Law is real chill. That's my mentor, man. Big homie. Shout out to Laylaw, Above the Law, Go Mac. But Laylaw is really the one who put all the pieces together. So Law jumps in the car with pops, and they bump the demo. And at the time, we're at Six Flags, right? It was a fucking, who was there that day? TLC, bro. TLC is at Six Flags performing. I remember they had De La Soul the week before. So Six Flags had been known for having like these acts that everybody wanted to see. And us being young, all the chicks was going to be here. So, where we was going to be? We was going to be right there. So we bounced to Six Flags, and I gave my dad the demo. I didn't know where he was going with it. He hits me on the phone while we're at Six Flags, right? Live and having fun and shit. He's like, I think back then, that's before everybody had cell phones and shit. We had these chip cell phones that the homies was selling. My buddy had a pager shop. Shout out to Monk with the pager shop. Him and his brother had pagers and cell phones, and they would chip these cell phones where you could use them on somebody else's bill. Sometimes you get a random ass call. Hey, is Tom there? Fuck Tom. I'm on Tom's line right now. Beat it. I got to call him. So this is during that time. So Pops hits me, probably pages me or something. I hit him back. He says, yo, you got to come home right now. Laylaw from Above the Law heard your demo. He wants to sign you guys right now. He's talking about hooking y'all up with Cube. And I'm like, it's probably all kind of shit going on behind me. And I'm like, it's a lot happening. You talking about Cube and Laylaw, and we had Magic Mountain and shit. And I'm like, all right, well, Pops, we at Six Flags. When we get done, we'll pull up. And so I tell my boys, and they're like, whoa, what? Okay. That made Six Flags more fun. Like, oh shit, we got to look. Okay, let's go see what that's about later. Okay. So we're chilling and shit. We end up meeting with Law. Turns out the studio's in my hood, like 2 blocks away. I'm on 62nd Street. I know you heard of the 60s with Nipsey and all that. This is Nip's hood, right? So Nip is my little homie. Shout out to the great, to Nipsey the Great. That's my little homie. Him and Sam are my niggas. But on 59th Street is D-Mac's house. And D-Mac is the producer of Tadal, Strictly for my niggas, for Pac. He did a lot of records on that. He did, what's the big, California Love remix. Bunch of shit from Mac 10. D-Mac got a long laundry list of him and Laylaw produced shit. So, house was like the studio's right on 59th Street. We could basically walk to the I'm like, you need Cube and Pop been recording 2 blocks.
Did you muffle the phone? There you go.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear me
It's
now?
all good. Yep.
Yeah, I started to use my computer, man, but I couldn't get it to pull up for whatever reason because I'm scared somebody's gonna call me on my phone.
Right.
I got it on
Do not
um
disturb.
do not disturb. Yeah.
It's all
So
good.
anyway, so D-Mac his house is up the street, right? And this is where Laylaw and Cube and um Tupac. I mean, fucking D-Mac has he still has dat tapes with Tupac shit nobody's heard, right? So we get up there and it's records, it's like crates of shit like all over the studio, right? It's like our little ass studio on steroids. As far as just records and turntables and then plaques and shit. And so we meet Law. Of course, we know about Above the Law. This is when shit is popping. Cube is like an idol to me at this time. So they talking all this Cube, and Cube's gonna come meet y'all. We love the demo. We want to get right into recording right away. And we're like, I'm 16. Sid is probably 17, going on 18. I'm probably about to turn 17. Stinjo's maybe 19 or a dub. Sticks was the oldest. He's probably 20, 21. So this is sounding like a lot at the time, right? So we in the studio, we start rolling up. They start rolling up and listening to the music, and they play "What's That You Say." And at the time, "What's That You Say" had a different beat that Sticks and Stones did to it. And D-Mac was like, "We like that record, but we're thinking we want to remix it to this beat." And he bumps the beat that the "What's That You Say" beat of today. And we all looked at each other like, the beat is hard as fuck, but let's do another song to that. Like, we don't want to take Sticks and Stones record. Let's do that. Let's just do a new song to that. And they just had a vision. So we tried it and the shit worked. And to appease Sticks and Stones, we put Sticks on the hook. Like, look, chill. We're changing the beat, but you're gonna do the hook. Right. And so that was that. There's a fucking fly in here. Hold on a second. So yeah, so we start building on our record at that point.
Can you give us a timeline at this point?
From the demo to
What
that
year?
meeting?
What year?
This is 93.
Okay.
So 93, shit, I'm so terrible. That's so long ago. I don't remember the exact timeline, but it didn't take long. Like, we did our demo maybe a month and a half, something like that. Stick's mom used to tell us, when y'all make it, I want some money because y'all keeping me up all night. And that's when we knew we had to go to my grandfather's house, because she was letting us record, but she was sick of the music, and we would go on late, and we call people over to do vocals and shit. Come do this hook, some girls, come do this hook for us, or whatever. We were making too much noise. And she was just like, it's cool, but when y'all make it, y'all need to buy me a new house, or, whatever. So we go to my grandfather's house, we remake it, get a demo to my pops. He goes to Tone. Tone gives it to Law. Law and my pops take us up to D-Mac's studio where Laylaw and them have been working. Maybe a week later or a few days later, they bring Cube over. Now, bro, as some young niggas, in LA, you want to play it cool because you see a lot of stars everywhere and shit. But it was hard not to get excited about motherfucking Cube walking through the door. Laylaw was a part of Above the Law, but he wasn't a front MC like Hutch and KMG. So he was a producer, and that was exciting, no question. They got plaques and many accolades and shit, so we were excited. But when Cube walked through that fucking door, we knew shit was real. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, they really feeling this shit. And so they're like, yeah, we want to put something on the label that's going to be different than what we already have. We got a ton of gangster shit. We want some player shit, some young high school, fresh out of high school niggas. One nigga still in high school. We want something like that. We like the vibe that y'all got going, and we want to build on it. So let's get to work. And so D-Mac being right up the street, I mean, literally, right up the street, bro. We were recording at his crib regularly. And hold on one second, bro. I got to get rid of this fly. He's driving
All right.
crazy. Wow. Yaka. I almost fucked up my mic doing that. I still got the lab, so we'll get to that. This is a little lab in the man cave, bro. But you know what I'm saying? He's still working. We'll get to that part. So we start working on the album. And, before Another Level, like I said, I've been working with Risky Business. This is Damone Stinjo's first time really, like, getting in on a record. D-Mac has so many fucking beats. He's just throwing beat after beat after beat on. And we found out there was another group called Another Level. So Cube is taking Laylaw, Law House Records through Priority. You know, Priority at the time is what NWA was on, what Cube was on. You guys know the history of. At the time, we were there. Master P had just did his distribution deal there. Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z was on Priority. People don't know that. Several artists, right? But there was another group called Another Level, R&B group. So they were like, listen, we want to get your single out and we want to get a record out on you before this R&B group, Another Level, comes out. And so as we're working, we're like throwing records together that they're keeping. Like we didn't get to really do a demo. So our album was like songs that and vibes that we were creating with Law and D-Mac and Sticks and Stones that were actually, wasn't like we got to kick a bunch of records off of the album. And it's crazy how when I still vibe on that album, I just know like the day that we did On Deck. I know the day that we did the song with Cube, Levels in Service, because we went over to his studio right across the train tracks off of West Boulevard where he had where he had his studio. What the fuck was the name of his studio? It's on the tip of my tongue, but he did Caution and all that shit there. KD, so
Don Jaguar.
Yeah. What was the name of Cube's I'm drawing a blank. My memory's terrible. What was the name of Cube's label? Other label.
Lynch Mob?
Lynch Mob. It was Lynch Mob Studios. It was Lynch Mob. And so we did Levels in Service over there. But everything else was done at D-Max. Can I smoke on this show?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. Yeah. So yeah, man, every song that we were doing was going on an album. So we cooked up the whole album and we did the song with Farside Sound. Listen, bro, this is like crazy. We were in Echo Sound where the Go Down, right? And we're still recording songs. And the song Fatty, we decided to go with Suave management. And Suave has managed Exhibit, the Alcoholics, different people. But he was managing the Farside. That was like, at the time, the side was just, on fire with the Bizarre Ride. And so he said, y'all niggas always freestyling shit. Let's just turn on a track, bring the Farside in, and we just gonna vibe one out for their record. And so that's what we did. Lit up a gang of blunts and got busy in the studio. And that was really a real freestyle record. Like everybody just came off the head. And my man Fat Lip, this nigga went in the corner, and started, nigga started bobbing. He was in his own zone. Everybody else talking, smoking, drinking, whatever the case may be. He's just in the corner, right? Niggas vibed out to the beat. We didn't know what he was going to come with. So everybody did their freestyle part, and then he did that Farmer Man joint, which he brought back the Farmer Man from the Far Side album. And it blew us all the way because we wasn't expecting that shit. And he had sat in the corner, nigga, and just whipped it up in his head, right? So when he hit the mic, it blew us all the way. We all fell out, bro. I'll never forget this. We was like, oh shit, this nigga just went to Neptune on us. This nigga went to Mars, like out of here with the Farmer Man shit, and that just put the cherry on top. But I think that was the last record. The song with Cube, we had the song done, and then we went over to Lynch Mob, and I think Sid did the intro part, and Cube laid his verse, so we got to hear Cube's verse in real time, and we were getting to know cats at the time. We had really just met Cube and Law, but we got to work with Law a lot working on the record. We were there every day going through samples and picking samples and deciding if we were going to go with it, or we would listen to a sample record and be like, yeah, let's loop that. So we got to be a part of the production process. And we didn't want to leave Sticks and Stones out, so a couple of the records on there with their templates that D-Mac went and rearranged. So right. It was a dope process, bro. It was really dope. Life-changing, though.
I do a lot of interviews and with groups, and then come to realize like they were put together, like they really weren't a group, really wasn't friends back in the day. Did you guys have that chemistry? I mean, were you?
We were homies for real, bro. We're like bros to this day. We're rest in peace to Sticks. Sticks, I've been on Sticks, dude. I met Sticks, his cousin Corman and me. We were friends in elementary, 3rd, 4th grade. Corman was like a bully who I learned how to fight with. Niggas always want to pick on the pretty boy. So I had to fight Corman to like get my stripes. and we became friends after that. And I met his cousin Mike Lincoln. That turned out to be Sticks. So Sticks was my big homie over time. He was when I was in the 9th grade, he was a senior. So it was good for me in high school because Westchester in LA is known for the flyest chicks, like good girls, all kind of people, celebrities have gone to Westchester High, and it's just like they put out bomb basketball teams, and it was known for having the flyest women. And so when I got there, Sticks was like a senior. He was popular. He was from this crew called Gents that did all the after proms and threw all the parties, and he was able to introduce me to a lot of people. So people thought I was like a fucking junior when I got there. And said I met in summer school going to 9th grade, my first year. And he was like a fly cat too, dressed well and all of that. So he put me on like, yo, you gotta wear polo and jabos and Timberlands and all this fly shit. I'm like, all right, bet, if that's what's gonna, I see what's cracking around here. I'm gonna get with the program. So we were homies for real. Like we kicked it outside of rap. Like we were fucking homies. We were from Gents and Double H, honorary homeboys. We were crews that weren't gang banging, but we knew all the bangers. Right. After my homeboy Jason got killed in 9th grade, I was in 8th grade when he got killed. I was just like, bro, I'm cool on gang banging personally. It just wasn't for me. I just wanted the fly shit. I want to have money. I want to be successful. I want to have a future. I want to enjoy this little bitty short ride of life. Enjoying myself.
Right.
That's why our album is about fun. It's like it's strictly about rhymes, hip hop, and having fun. And we wasn't no punks neither. Like we was from the 60 side of Los Angeles, and there's Bloods on each side. You got the jungles below us. You got Inglewood next to us. So we learned how to navigate in the city and still maintain a player swag about us that we're the gangsters wanted to come to our parties because that's where the chicks was at. And right. So we had that kind of respect. Of course, when we got on and our music started playing on the radio, then there was even more love, but there was also a lot of hate because a lot of people had been putting in. I don't know if you've heard of The Good Life. They just did a documentary.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about if you ever frequented there.
No, we battled in front of Leimert Park then because, we got on to cats faster than they would have liked. And being some, light-skinned niggas from LA, everybody wasn't happy about that shit. And they wanted to test us. And back then it was, where your flows at? Where your flows at? If you can't flow, what's up? Where your flows? Let's battle right now. My boy gonna beatbox or no beat, acapella, however you want it. We're gonna get it. And so everywhere we go, we had to battle. Even in New York, which is the fucking Mecca. And I can't even front. New York made me nervous back then. Coming from the West Coast, we was gangster with it as far as our hip hop scene. We had some underground shit that was popping, but the bulk of hip hop was East Coast based, and that was just the Mecca. So when you got there, motherfuckers was gonna test you, and you had to battle. So we battled a lot. We never went inside The Good Life because it was outside. I felt like it was outside of our personal element. We was cool. Like I respect the Freestyle Fellowship. Mike and I, those are my niggas. Like a lot of cats are good cats, but we did have to battle a lot of they little flunky cats, right? And they would hit my man Stinjo hard. They would come at Stinjo hard, and he would have to defend himself. And Stinjo was new to him. It's funny because Stinjo evolved into an MC that will burn 90% of any MCs that step. And it's funny to watch him evolve over time and torch niggas. And he had that chip on his shoulders because niggas wanted to battle him so much. When we went on tour, I think we were like somewhere in the Midwest. And when his pen first hit him, and I'll never forget, he came in. Me and Sid always had a room together, and Sticks and Stones or Sticks and Stins, we would divide it up, or somebody be with our manager Swab. But this nigga comes banging on the door. Listen to this verse I just wrote. Listen, and he couldn't even get it out, and it was a fucking smoker. And he ain't never stopped since. I swear to God, his pen has been on fire. And our second album, which we just pulled out of the fucking crates, is a testament to that. Like, I wish our second album would have dropped and had we dropped For Show Shop from the first album, it would have been another. We dropped the wrong singles, and that's kind of what happened with us. Things went left with Laylaw and Priority, and so we never got a chance to do our second album. But back to LA, yeah, The Good Life. The Good Life was known for the underground hip hop, and all MCs either if you didn't do Good Life, you did Leimert Park. and we battled hella times in Lamert Park. That's where all the graffiti artists, taggers used to be, KWS, NBT, and we used to have to battle. And it was cool with us, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, let's get it on. So we battle. Sometimes our manager Swab would be like, it's a time for that. Let's make the cipher. Let's get it cracking. And Far Side, when you walked into their house in the lab cabin, the first thing they did was hand you a mic. Like, you had to get on the microphone as soon as you walked in. And I remember Will I Am was in there when we went DJing. And he was signed to Easy at the time.
Ruthless, yeah.
Like Ruthless. He was like the only hip hop cat that was on Ruthless. And he could dance his ass off, could DJ, motherfucker can produce. As you see now with Black Eyed Peas, that motherfucker's out of here now. But he was in there, and it was just like, as soon as you walked in, boom, mic on, let's go. Freestyle right off the gate. No nerves. As soon as you walked in, that was the first initiation. Here go the mic, and we recording it. So they had dats of like everybody you could think of, including East Coast niggas like Redman and motherfuckers that had come through the lab cabin. And I just remember all those dats. Like, they had like hella motherfuckers, you know, that had came in and freestyle. So it was an honor to go in there and bust on the mic and become friends with them. We toured with them a lot, saw the world. It really opened me up to things that I'm doing now, was breaking out of LA and seeing the nation. LA was really big on gangbanging back then, man. So a lot of our events were turned out from the gangbang era. Like, shit would get shot up all the time. And we had the flyest fucking chicks in LA. And it used to piss me off because I would go to Atlanta to the Freaknik, and they would just have shit like peaceful, like thousands of niggas just college partying and kicking and shit, and no fights, let alone the shootout. That was like unheard of. No fights, nothing. So once we got to experience that and travel with the Far Side, we went with Far Side, Cube on tour. And I remember Pac was staying in our hotel once. We got to chill with Pac. Was really, he looked up to Laylaw a lot. And so when we were in the studio, Pac came through a few times. Eric B was there while we were recording. So it made us have to step our game up, you know, to us. You know, when you're playing your music for those type of people, and you're a young kid, you know, it's natural to have your doubts. But we were confident as fuck in our product. And for whatever reason, that came across to people, and they rocked with us. And that was cool, bro. That was real cool.